Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey Taylor. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I am so excited to be talking to you guys about how to get motivated to read more. And I just want to share my tips and tricks with you guys. First off, what I've done is that I found some really amazing book covers. So if there's like a book that you like a classic, find it in cloth-bound edition, because I think the cloth-bound editions are like the ones that really are going to motivate you to read. Because I feel like if you have a really ugly or pretty, because honestly, who likes to read books from the library? Like, come on, they're just like disgusting to hold. Me to get into reading, how I started was a beautiful edition of Utopia by Thomas More that I bought. This is the book that got me into reading. Then Dracula came second. But because I bought this book, and do you just see like how beautiful it is? Like the cover is absolutely stunning, and like just like how it feels in your hands, I just feel like it's a great motivator to help you read more. Because if you have like an ugly book in your hand, like, and if you open the pages are just like so gross and ugly, like that's not gonna motivate you to read. If you have something that looks like this, that's like, I don't know, just like a lovely text to look at. And you can also go with what size of text do you like? Do you like it bigger or do you like them smaller? There's multiple editions of books that you can get nowadays. Experiment and find out what is your reading specialties. Like, do you prefer cloth bound, paperback, hardback, big font, little font, yellow, white pages? Just look for things that you find beauty in a book. What do you find beautiful in a book? And that will help you to motivate you to read. For me, hardcover, I find it a bit more of like, obviously it depends what book it is, but I usually find it a bit more harder to like read because it makes the book heavier, but it does look better on your shelf, and the life of the book is going to last a lot longer than a paperback. But a paperback book, it's just super light, so when you're holding it and you're reading from it, it's just like a lot easier. The next tip that I have for you guys to get into reading more is find a reading location. Find a spot either in your house, your bedroom, your couch, the living room, the backyard. Find a spot somewhere on planet Earth that you want to read and devour the book. It can be at home, it could be outside, you know. If it's not cold outside, you can go out to a park, you can go to a coffee shop, you can go inside a library, bookstore. Sometimes mega big bookstores like Waterstones has like a whole reading section, so if you want to do some reading in that area, you can. Me personally, what works for me is I like reading either in my bed at night. If I'm out town, I'll read on transportation like the bus or the underground tubes. Days I find to be a little bit more difficult to read because there's just so much noise going on and like people chatting. I find it distracting to be in a cafe reading a book, and it's just my personal preference. I tried it multiple times to make it work, but it just doesn't work for me personally. So I'm in my bedroom with obviously some candles, and that's my next point that I want to get to. Create a reading atmosphere. Candles are a wonderful accessory to help create that magic. And also the warm light from the candles, when it goes on the page that you're reading, it makes it so much nicer. Because I was gonna get a reading lamp, like a nighttime reading lamp that you can like clip onto your book, but I find those to be like the lighting, obviously I'm sure that they sell some in warm light tones, but the blue light I'm not a big fan of. I prefer this light. The warm tone of this light is just like a lot more inspirational to read. Another thing that will get you into reading is to find friends, book friends that you can read along with. So whether you can find them online, there's a whole community called booktub, booktalk, bookstagram that you can find other book lovers that love to read as well. Why is this going out of focus, bitch? I love bookleo, Caroline Reads, Jackedwards, dakotawarren. There's multiple other booktubers that I really love, but highly recommend. Just like go online, there's a whole community of people you can meet. Obviously it's a bit hard to make book friends if you don't go to like a book club or something, but also go to book events in your area. If there's like a book signing, go to that. You can make friends there, network with people, and I find it really inspires you to want to read more, because you just see like a whole room of people that enjoy literature like you do, and so that's also another push to want to start reading as well. Another thing I want to add, and going to these book signings, meeting these authors is like one of the best things I've done in terms of like getting motivated to read more, because I kind of find I'm in like a reading slump right now. I find it a bit hard to read when it's like holiday season, Christmas is coming up, you know, you've got other things on your to-do list. But going to these book events and just like having these authors sign your books is like a fantastic way to get more into reading. I know obviously everybody doesn't have this opportunity to meet the authors because it's only in like selective cities throughout the world, but it really helps me to read. Another thing that helps me to read is when I have book tabs. Tabs are a fantastic way to get more into reading because, as you can tell, I've done it here as well. And also, like I said, underlining really helps in your productivity. I think to read like faster, I'll try to find some like underlines that I did here, but like when you underline the sentences in the book, oh my gosh, that really helped me to just to fly through the books, because I feel like it helps you focus more on the reading. If you have problems with your mind just wandering while you're reading, underlining really helps, because you can look back at like quotes that you love, certain character moments that you want to look back on. So tabs are a wonderful way. Another thing is to have really nice, pretty bookmarks. This one I got from Daunt Books, and this one I got a Sally Rooney bookmark. Annotating your books is like an amazing thing to do, because doesn't it just look like so much cooler? Another tip I have for you guys is to read shorter books, little tiny books like this. I got this one at Waterstones, just like a little small book about how to be a stoic. Or you can get classics, like the small classics that are like 200 and under 200 pages. Do you see how thin these are? These are like really easy to get through, and I highly recommend these classics too. I highly recommend just like starting from like 200 less pages, because that way you'll just skim through the books and it'll make you feel really productive. Another thing to do is to find out what genre you're into. So do you like non-fiction, fiction, sci-fi, gothic, horror, historical fiction? I also encourage you guys to step out of your comfort zone and to read something that you normally wouldn't. Like, I remember for the first time thinking Jane Austen books were so intimidating to read. It just like all depends on like where you're at in your reading journey. This one I got is my first Jane Austen book. This is Emma, and it is such a beautiful edition. But like, getting into Jane Austen is like another fantastic way to get inspired to read. Another thing is you can watch, if it's hard for you to get into the Jane Austen novels, I recommend you to watch the film. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is all my tips for now. You'll have a fantastic day or night, and happy reading.